In today's video, we're going to be talking about Kyshawn George, 6'8" wing out of Miami, originally from Switzerland. We're going to break him down. We're going to talk about his draft range and how his game translates to the NBA. To start off with Kyshawn George, he averaged about 23 minutes per game, 7 points, 43% from the field, 41 from 3, and around 78% from the line. He averaged 3 rebounds, 2.2 assists, almost a steal per game, a half a block, and 1.5 turnovers. Some other stats to keep in mind with Kyshawn George is his true shooting percentage was around 58%. He had about a 17.68 usage percentage. So those are some stats to keep in mind when we're talking about Kyshawn George. Some of the strengths of Kyshawn George's game right now is the ability to shoot the ball. In my opinion, I think he can be a great catch and shoot guy. He is a very quick release. He can be put in actions to get him open shots. Obviously, I want to see him shoot more off the dribble. He obviously showed the ability to do that, but I think he should do that more. Use his length to shoot over smaller defenders, similar to how Brandon Ingram does it. I think Kyshawn George can be a really, really good shooter. I think he already is. I think he's one of the better ones in this draft class, but I think there's more improvement for him. Overall, Kyshawn George is a very skilled player for his size at 6'8". He does a little bit of everything, and one of the areas we're going to be talking about right now is his playmaking ability. I think he has a good potential to be a good playmaker on the wing, coming off closeouts, being able to be put in pick and roll situations. I think Kyshawn George has the ability or potential to be a good playmaker. Obviously right now it's kind of hit or miss. I think he showed flashes, but wasn't really consistent. He has a really good feel for the game, which helps him in those situations. But I think, again, there's a lot more room for improvement. Kyshawn George's athleticism doesn't really pop off the screen to really anybody. He has a very severe, I don't even know. It's terrible. I mean, his burst is absolutely awful. So that's obviously a concern. I remember people talking about Brandon Miller's burst. That was just it was just average. It wasn't like something that, would catch your eye. Kyshawn George has a negative burst, and that is a concern. And obviously to get by guys off the dribble, you gotta have some type of burst, you would think. But Kyshawn George does really well attacking closeouts and being able to, when he gets switched on defender, being able to get by him. He just is very crafty, has a good feel for the game, but the burst is concerning. Obviously the length is there, he can get up, but the burst, man, that scares me. One thing I would like to see Kyshawn George improve, right now, isn't something, may take a couple years. Something I think he needs to improve right now is his mid-range and floater game. I think he really needs to improve his mid-range because he can be a legit 3-level scorer. But right now, the mid-range is kind of iffy. I think he has it, but I think he needs to showcase it more as he gets older. And now on the defensive side of Kyshawn George's game, I think he has a lot of upside to be a positive defender. I think he was a solid defender for Miami. It's definitely not a negative defender. I'm not sure he's going to be a positive defender from day one, but he has the instincts, he has the length, he's kind of underrated in moving his feet. I think he can be a positive defender, and I think he will be in the NBA. I think the ceiling for Cam Johnson is a tier below an all-star caliber player, like a really good starter for a contending team, a really good shooter, positive defender, able to play make a little. I think that's kind of the player I think Kyshawn George can be, kind of a mix between Cam Johnson and Joe Ingles. I think the floor is probably a bench player that just provides shooting and the roster type of guy. Me personally, I think he'll kind of be somewhere in between there, but also have a good chance to become that ceiling player. That's all I got on Kyshawn George. Thank you for listening, and now enjoy these highlights.
Becomes a factor on the offensive glass. Reed and Carr on the front line for the cute on the break that time. George lining up a three.
By 16.
Kyshawn.
Ball. Excellent offense early by Georgia Tech. Short post, low post. And we saw him out there in the shoot-around running around. It looks like he could still go get a double-double. That was given by their head coach.
George gets free.
Middle of the lane. That is a difficult shot, but his stroke's so compact.
Big time numbers too. Here's George out of the corner. Yes, sir.
Makes them a difficult outlet.
Worley. Kelly's got 25. George takes
By O'Meara, tough catch for Hall. And what they're doing is